Dennis, how do you see some of these players?
Okay, hit me.
We need grades, letter grades.
All right.
We'll start right down Main Street. Sebastian Aho.
This season?
A full body of work, not just like the form they're in recently, taking the full body of work.
I give it a B+.
Okay.
I would give it a B+ because I think Sebastian this season, because of the guys that are no longer here, whether that's obviously Jake Gensel that was here for the short bit last year, Martin Necas got traded, and so on.
Teravainen gone before the season.
Teravainen gone. So there's a lot of guys that aren't there anymore that he's used to playing around. So he's had to take on a little bit more of a role, and I think he's also been very cognizant of, I have to make sure I'm really good on the defensive side of things first, and I think some of that has impacted his offensive scoring, but overall, he still is your leading scorer. He still is your number one center, and he can play in every situation. I would give him a B+.
Let's make this one a little more difficult.
Okay.
Jackson Blake. Rookie. On the top line for as of recently, but he hasn't been there all season.
I'm trying not to go recency bias, but again, you also have to go with expectations on this. I would give Jackson Blake a solid B.
Okay.
I would give him a solid B because we've seen the creativity from him, especially over the last 25 games or so, and the skill that he has. The production in terms of actual crooked numbers on the stat sheet just weren't getting there, even though he deserved more. He's obviously been playing lights out much of the last 10 games or so, now that the puck is actually going in the net. But I'll give him a solid B because there was that learning curve. There was that wall that a lot of rookies hit. I'll give him a solid B this year. He's been surprisingly good.
Jesperi Kotkaniemi.
C.
Yep.
I give him a C.
I'm trying to get a variety. I'm not just throwing all the straight A students. I'm not giving you the honor students here. I got to make you grade.
I would give him a C. He's been playing for the most part as your second line center, but there have been plenty of times where he's been dropped down to as the fourth line center once again. He's been given plenty of opportunities, and the production just hasn't been there.
Next up, we'll go Brent Burns. Again, against expectations, he's 40-something-year-old defenseman.
Oh, I know. There's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of missed coverages in the defensive zone, just guys getting behind him or just guys getting free from him, especially around the net. I would go C- for Brent Burns. I know he's still playing against on a top defensive pair, but I would go C-.
All right, now I feel bad. I'm making you be too brutal here. We'll go Seth Jarvis.
Oh, I got to give Jarvie an A. I got to give Jarvis an A.
Extra credit? I mean, is he like, are we pushing like 4.0? Is he 9.8? 98%?
He might be a solid 94.
Okay. All right, so there's still room for improvement there. 94, he can do better.
There is room for improvement.
He can do better there.
And I think that's the thing, is that I think he actually is getting better.
You got to throw a few minuses in there. Maybe he needs to be a little more serious. Talking a lot in the back. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's
talking
fine.
A lot in the back of the room. He definitely was that kid in school, by the way. We got to do it at some point. Andrei Svechnikov.
D.
We got to do it at some point.
D.
Parent-teacher conferences? Are we calling how serious are we? Like, we're getting together as a teaching staff and figuring out where we're failing him? Like, what's the deal here?
It's a noticeable regression. And there's a graphic that was put out, I forget by who it was, a couple of days ago, about just his overall top speed. Yep. NHL Edge, which is part of the NHL, puts out advanced stats in terms of how fast players are skating on average, how many times they reach 18 miles per hour or 20 miles per hour or 22 miles per hour. They put out, they refer to them as bursts. The bursts in terms of speed are way down from where they were a couple of years ago. Hitting the top speed in terms of per 60 minutes played just hasn't been there. He still continues to get hurt, even though he had a full off season to train. And again, this goal scoring and just the overall point production hasn't been this low since his rookie year.
Shout out Pierre Analytics. That's who posted
it. It's a D in my mind.
That's tough for me because the lack of burst and lack of number of bursts above 22 miles per hour and all those things, that he's just a different physical player. That's tough to adjust to, where it's like, I used to be able to get to that puck and now I can't, or I used to, ruin the angle of this guy trying to cut me off and now he's putting me into the boards. It's hard to retrain your brain on what you can and can't do, and he's going to have to find a way. Like a pitcher that, used to throw 102, is now throwing 96. It's like you're not a slow pitcher. You just got to learn how to pitch, right? You can't just blow it by him anymore. We'll end with these, and you can grade them as a pair. It's a group project.
Okay.
Freddie Anderson and Pyotr Kochetkov. And if you want to give them individual grades, you can, but it's obviously their job is connected.
Yeah, as a tandem, B-.
Okay.
I think B-. I think just it's been too inconsistent. When those two are going hot, it's amazing.
It is incredible how much they kind of play off each other.
Yeah.
When one's going well, suddenly the other's going well, then they go on a streak where it's lights out. Then when one falters, it's like only a matter of time until the other catches up. And I guess that's kind of nice when, it's either really nice or really bad. It's really nice when one gets going and then the other one matches them, and now you get a 10-game streak of unbelievable goaltending.
So I get a B-, again, which isn't bad, but you're teetering on just above average.
Yeah, and it's, C's get degrees, but you hope your students are striving for better.
I mean, I want cum laude. Can I get cum laude?
Yeah, I want an extra tassel on graduation day.
There you go.
I had one more here, and I just don't want to leave him out because Jacob Slavin. I feel like he just gets taken for granted. So
yeah,
you don't want to be like the good kid that the teacher never talks to because you're just getting A's. Like, you want some attention. Jacob Slavin.
I'll give him an A-.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll give him an A-. Because they're especially the last few games, like, you've seen a couple uncharacteristic mistakes, but he's still a stud.
And do we want to go as far as like, listen, it's a life lesson. You got to pick better group project partners.
Right?
If you're doing more work to make up for the knuckleheads you chose to do the science fair with. It happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's some Canes grades by the end of the year.
A couple people said, Micah said for Kokoniemi a B-.
Okay.
He said Svetch a D+. So I said D. So
first of all time upset that Micah is kind of an easy grader.
Yeah, I know.
I thought Micah would have like most of the team like failing. He's usually so brutal.
Orlov a D. So yeah,
we didn't do Dmitry Orlov.
We did not do.
So we'll take Micah's word for it on that one.
Yeah,
the official grade comes from the TA.
And then Robert said, "Wow, Dennis B-. You're very generous." I guess referring to the goaltenders. I guess I was.
I thought you were a little generous there. But it's a consistency thing, right? In the average, it might be a B-, but that's because they had like an A month and a C- month.
Yeah,
and then
that's the thing. It's just the lack of consistency because when they're on, it's awesome.
As we've seen.